Hello, and welcome back to Doomed. Solo drafted playthroughs of Arkham Horror, the card game, usually with a focus on roleplay and storytelling, but today, a little less and a little more competition. Not actual competition, though. I am competing against no one except the horrors of the Mythos. Hi, everybody, welcome back. As you may have noticed, this is not a live stream. Whoa! I've been doing these off-stream, just for my own sanity. Sorry, my voice is tired because I also just got off a stream. He's crazy like that. Welcome back to my drafted playthrough of The Forgotten Age for the Hunters of the Mythos competition. Trotic, user over on the Mythos Busters Discord, organized a wonderful competition where teams are playing through The Forgotten Age in an attempt to score as many points as possible. You get points for completing objectives during scenarios and the like. I am playing a solo standard difficulty campaign with Ursula right now, trying to do it as quickly as possible. It is an absolute nightmare because this scenario that we're about to look at today is an absolute beast. I feel like I say that every time. It's not cool. And I'm also playing a drafted duo of Leo and Jenny. It's going great. Honestly, actually, the Threads of Fate, which was the last scenario, was rough. If I recall correctly, because it has been a long time since I recorded that video, but go check it out if you haven't already. If I recall correctly, the big issue with that scenario is that I got bogged down trying to draw into my single copy of Fine Clothes in Leo so that he could actually participate in the achieving of objectives. Today, we're going to be taking our drafted duo of Leo and Jenny with all of the XP they've accumulated and all of the things that have happened to them, which I'll get to in a moment. We're taking them into Scenario 4, The Boundary Beyond. As always, I'll do a little intro. We'll do our setup, and then we will try to figure out how the heck we're supposed to accomplish anything. The reason I'm kind of feeling a little like about it, Leo has actually been drafting quite well. He's been drafting things that are of value to him and the team. And recently he managed to get a couple new cool things. Not like the best things, but just some cool stuff. Jenny, on the other hand, I had the option of healing a trauma after Threads of Fate. And yes, I should have taken it. She currently has 2 physical and 4 mental trauma. I didn't take it because I thought the 8 XP would be more valuable. Turns out that's incorrect. So we'll see how much of that XP ends up in play today. And maybe I'll, I'm not going to wreck on it, but like maybe I'll, make better decisions in the future. Do I have anything else to say? As always, this is like for fun. The point of the competition is to, hang on, let's fix my webcam here, shall we? Actually, that's okay. I think it's fine. The point of the competition is to sort of like examine the scenarios and like try to figure out the most optimal way of like trying to accomplish things in them. That's my cat. BRB screen. As always, or just as a reminder, I suppose, the point of this competition, is to score points by approaching the campaign in a way you maybe haven't done so before. Not necessarily by playing a drafted deck or a weird investigator or whatever, but just more considering it from the perspective of how do I maximize my ability to get points out of this campaign. I haven't really been doing that. I've been really enjoying the draft, and I think we should just continue their story. Let's, as a quick reminder of where we got to, last scenario, Threads of Fate, Leo and Jenny had to track down a couple of leads. They couldn't find the Relic of Ages, which had been stolen. I feel like they weren't even really on the trail of it. They went after Alejandro and managed to rescue him from a kidnapper, and Jenny almost got Iktaka saved, or whatever, but instead she is still in the dark. So she was unable to help Iktaka. It was that one was close, I seem to recall. Why is there 2 victory points on the board? Well, we'll figure that out later. Do I have anything else to say? I guess I'll talk a little bit about what we drafted. Oh, and we had a resupply point after Scenario 3. As I said, I did not choose to clear Jenny's poisoned or trauma, which is, in hindsight, like, absolutely insane, and I don't know what's wrong with me. Jenny has to play Soak, and she has to heal. So that'll be interesting. However, we did get 5 resupply points each, so Jenny took a provisions and a gasoline and a pendant and a pickaxe, which will be useful, hopefully. And Leo took a gasoline and a provisions and some rope, which will also hopefully be useful. I assume the medicine that Leo has can be used to get the poison after this scenario, or maybe next. XP in Jenny's deck went to a couple of Eon charts, a level 1 and a level 4, and an Elder Sign amulet for Soak. And Leo's went to a couple things I can't remember. He got Inscription of the Elders for cluing, and Observe, one of my personal favorite cards. Before setting up each game, draw 3 random cards from the tarot deck and choose one. Place it in front of you, upright. Each other investigator ignores its effects. Before setting up, so that's right now. Leo is going to get the benefit of the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, or the Star. The Hermit. Increase Leo's maximum hand size by 3. Once each act, when any investigator, I think it specifically says each other investigator ignores its effects. Yeah, so when Leo reveals a tentacle, he can treat it as a 0. Or, after Leo reveals an Elder Sign, heal a damage or a horror. This would be very, very, very valuable, I think, on Ms. Traumaed up Jenny. I feel like... It's a good question, actually. He has been drawing a lot and not able to play a ton. So we could take the max hand size. I feel like healing is not bad, but he has a lot of soak. So I'm going to take Wheel of Fortune and just, like, hope that it does something, basically. Could be fun. I hope it's going to be fun. Okay. Scenario 4. The Boundary Beyond. Rays of hot yellow light. Rays of hot... Max! Hang on. Scenario 4. The Boundary Beyond. Rays of hot yellow sunlight beat down on you from above as your car speeds down the dusty highways of southern Texas just outside San Antonio. It's been several days since you hit the road from Arkham on your way to Mexico City, where you may be able to get answers from some of Alejandra's associates, or, even better, his adversaries, in academia. Your recent investigations in Arkham uncovered much, but despite all the knowledge you laid bare, the trail went cold soon after. The Brotherhood that you exposed in Arkham has all but vanished from the city. Its members left behind little information as to their next objective other than the name The Nexus of Nkai, a place of power that Iktaka believes is the Brotherhood's ultimate destination. Enigmatic as ever, the Etzli warrior sits in the passenger seat next to you, which is a great image. She is tense and coiled like a spring, the Ford's leather seat offering her little comfort. Read each of the following sections. If Iktaka is in the dark, Iktaka is quiet and pensive for the majority of your journey. Your questions are met with a wall of silence and a steely glare. Too loud. Whatever she has planned, you are being left in the dark. Because we were unable to help her, right? Each investigator begins this scenario with 2 fewer cards in their opening hand, but we can still mulligan. If the relic is missing, the loss of the Etzli relic weighs heavily on your mind. Clearly, its value is more than academic. It holds a power within it that you cannot yet begin to fathom. You are certain that the shadowy Brotherhood is behind its disappearance, but for what purpose? Remove the Relic of Ages, forestalling the future, from the game. Forestalling the future is awesome. If we rescued Alejandro, Leo reads Alejandro's thoughts. Throughout your journey, Alejandro scribbles endlessly in his journal, the sound of pencils scratching against paper a constant reminder of his presence. He remains huddled in the back seat, his knees keeping the journal still, his brows furrowed in thought. This Brotherhood is the least of our concerns, he says with an air of finality. I've been trying to decrypt the glyphs the device bears. The symbols are clearly not Aztec, nor Mayan, nor are they from any other Mesoamerican civilization, for that matter. I believe there is some other place the relic belongs, somewhere it was taken from. Wouldn't you agree, Miss Iktaka? Iktaka's already grim expression grows darker, her eyes narrowing. She doesn't bother to turn around in her seat before addressing Alejandro. It belongs somewhere meddlesome. Scholars cannot abuse its power. She replies in a cold tone, and that's the end of the discussion. Crossing the border into Mexico is a less stressful endeavor than you imagined, due to Alejandro's connections. You're waved through customs with nary a stray glance, and soon enough, you're on your way to Mexico City. Begin the scenario with 2 additional resources. Each investigator. Great for asset-heavy decks, of which I have 2. Check your supplies. Any one investigator must cross off 1 gasoline. If no gasoline was crossed off, read out of gas. Well, I did. I'm removing a gasoline from Jenny. After arriving in Mexico City, you're disheartened to find very little information regarding the Brotherhood or the Nexus. You peruse the archives of the city's libraries and universities, but come up empty-handed. You can't find any of Alejandro's former colleagues in the city, because they're all in the Brotherhood, and even his enemies refuse to speak to you, save one, a woman named Padma Amrita, who studied Alejandro's work before he came to Arkham. She agrees to meet you at a trendy lounge in the southern part of the city, late at night. Iktaka remains a short distance away, observing your new informant silently. Padma knows a lot about Alejandro's research, and even claims to have heard of the Nexus of Nkai, though she refuses to tell you how to find it. It's a fool's errand, she tells you. There's nothing to find, just a myth. Trust me, many have searched for it, none have found it. You point out the Etzli people were not a myth, and she responds with a charming smile. Perhaps not, but all this about the Etzli still being alive, undiscovered for centuries? She laughs heartily. Bourgeois, pure and simple. Come now, you don't expect real scholars to believe that, do you? Your eyes are drawn to Iktaka, who is overhearing the conversation with crossed arms, her nails dug into her forearms. Padma's eyes wander over as well, the hint of a smirk on her lips. In any event, I apologize, but I don't have any information for you. Only a sap would continue this research any further. Good day. She leaves with another alluring smile, a sweet scent trailing behind her as she departs. Once she's out of sight, Iktaka sits next to you, and you discuss your next move. After a week of failure after failure, she's growing impatient, or she's grown impatient even. You offer a few more suggestions regarding whom you could speak to next, but her mind is elsewhere. When you return to your hotel, she immediately retreats to her room to make preparations for tomorrow. You decide to settle in for the night, and before long, your mind is meandering hazily into a dreamless slumber. In the far recesses of your awareness, however, You can hear Iktaka reciting a cryptic incantation. So, there are not 2 or more cultists or 2 or more tablets. We are forging our own path, so there are 2 elder things. So we are gathering Panotic Brotherhood and Guardians of Time. Which I'm not going to look at too hard. Although I just saw arrows from the trees. That's not good. Put some things into play. We begin at either Zocalo or Koyaokan. And I think I'm going to put 1 each because I don't know. Boop. We'll just do that because they can handle themselves, hopefully. Set a few things aside. The exploration deck. So, the exploration deck has 12 single-sided ancient locations and 1 copy each of Window to Another Time, Timeline Destabilization, A Tear in Time, and Lost in Time. I wonder if this set has a theme. It means there should be 16, and there are 4 treacheries. Poisoned, blah blah blah, ready to begin. Replacing locations. So, you may be instructed to place new locations on top of existing ones. It takes its place. Tokens, attachments, investigators, enemies are now at the new location. They have not moved, but they're at the new location. If a location leaves play and there's a location underneath it, that location takes its place. Great, easy. Let's jump in, guys. Let's read the agenda and the act. Agenda 1A, the boundary broken. Oh, Iktaka is already up and about when you awaken, donning her traditional armor, her bow on her back and a long blade at her side. Something is wrong, she states cryptically. I only meant to peer through the boundary. Her eyes are bloodshot, her face pale as a ghost. You suspect she hasn't slept all night. It matters not. It is time you witnessed the fate that will befall humanity if we fail. 8 Doom! Act 1A. Crossing the Threshold. As you depart the hotel, you realize the landscape of the city has been altered. Silver lightning crackles in the sky overhead, and the earth rumbles deep beneath your feet. Or deep below your feet. Monstrous, polypus entities float just below the clouds. What's going on? You yell to Iktaka over the whistling wind. What is this place? One future, she replies enigmatically. After the first Tenochtitlan location enters play by exploring successfully, advance. Pretty straightforward. We've got 2 elder things in the bag and 2 skulls. The elder things are, let's copy, -4 if you fail, place a clue on the nearest ancient location. Gross. Skulls are -1, but -3 if you're at an ancient location. It's an okay breakpoint. It's not great, but it's not terrible. I forgot that Jenny has Streetwise, so I think we're actually... That's it. That's good. That's very good. Okay. I think we're ready. I have to save, and I have to make sure that our hands are visible. Okay, team. We're going to draw our opening hands. We can only draw 3 cards, but we have 7 resources. So the hope is literally 2 weaknesses. Redraw them. Nothing that I want. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It's a full mull. We like a lockpicks. We like a lockpicks and a momentum, actually. And a followed. Followed is an investigate with an enemy at the location, so it is what it is. 'Tis what it is. And our good friend Leo here is going to draw the axe, the guard dog, and I'm out of here. Well, we don't need to be out of here, so we're mulliganing into scene of the crime. Fantastico. The axe is great because I, of course, forgot I have 1 mark of Inscription of the Hunt, whoops, and 1 Inscription of the Elders. If this attack succeeds by an amount equal to or greater than your location's shroud, discover a clue at your location. Pretty good. I mean, sorry, interesting. You have to commit to it before it happens, and you have to succeed by a certain amount, which is, but okay. Here we are. Oh, and this is the Relic of Ages, and that's gone. Okay, my friends, let's dive in. Leo finds himself in Coyoacan. Although not always a part of Mexico City, it's always been a historic area. Narrow cobblestone streets and plazas. The ground shakes as you walk down one of the village's many confined paths. You suspect that there is more that lives below the surface. Leo is keeping an ear trained to the ground, trying to figure out what this place is and what is happening to him. Meanwhile, Jenny finds herself at Zocalo, the main square in central Mexico City. Her feet always seem to bring her back to central locations. Once the ceremonial center of Tenochtitlan stretches before you, silver lightning flashes in the storm clouds overhead, and you're shocked to find a tide of blood swelling over the plaza. The entire city is bizarrely devoid of any life. We're going to start with our lead investigator, Leo. I'm going to reveal Coyoacan. Action. Take 1 damage or 1 horror. Explore. Draw the top card of the exploration deck. If it is a location with a matching symbol in the upper left-hand corner, so that's a purple star, place it on top of this location, taking its place. All right, Leo, when your turn begins, I'm playing an ally asset for 2. I'm going to play Runic Axe for 4. And then I think, my friend, we're just going for it. Because I could draw cards, but, like, why not just do stuff instead, right? Let's go ahead. I'm going to take a damage in order to explore. So we explore, and we're looking for a star. You'll notice there are other cards here, but instead we draw Treachery, which, of course, is fine, I think. It's not. Leo drew Lost in Time as he walks down the street, trying his best to figure out what the hell is going on around here. He finds the ground opening up beneath his feet, cobblestone being pulled upwards into the sky. A bit kind of catches him on the side of his head. Shuffle a non-story asset you control into your deck. If no asset is shuffled into your deck by this effect, choose and discard 3 cards from your hand. Well, I can't do that. I have to do the guard dog because I don't want to lose the axe. That sucks. But could it be worse? Yeah. Do we take more damage? Or horror, knowing that I'll have lots of soak later? Yes, I think so. I'm going to take another damage. And we're going to hope that this is a bit better. It's canals, which I just saw, which is weird, but that's okay. 2 lakes, another canal. Oh, I see, okay. This is, okay. Phew. I was like, it's not boding well here. All right. I'm going to place it on top. I'm going to reshuffle the locations. As a note, location connections now have changed in the scenario. Sacred Woods is what I've just put into play. Leo pushes his way through a door, glass exploding outwards, covering him in shards, and then he finds himself deep within the jungles of Mexico. The Sacred Woods is connected to Chapultepec Park to the west and Xochimilco to the north, but not to the other 2 locations it used to be connected to. It is a 6-shroud 2-clue location. While you're at the Sacred Woods, increase the cost of each card you play by 2. Gross. While you are investigating it, it gets -1 shroud for each asset you control. Well, maybe this is a Jenny situation. However, I did put a Tenochtitlan location into play by exploring, so we're going to advance. In the distance, light seeps through a wide crack in the ground. As you approach it, you realize the chasm is not natural at all. Below, you see the sky, as if you were peering into a reflection of the clouds above. Wisps of gray smoke emerge from the chasm, giving off a familiar bittersweet scent. You step through and resist the urge to vomit as the world spins upside down. When you open your eyes again, you are in another place. Not somewhere, but somewhen. The investigator who just put a Tenochtitlan location into play must test Willpower 4. Oof. If you fail, search the collection for a random basic madness or injury weakness and shuffle it into their deck. In the rules, our basic weaknesses had to have, and I'm just going to roll back so I get it right here. A basic weakness has to be either Dark Pack or Doomed, which is from this campaign, or the core set basic weaknesses. So, but that's just the deck building requirements. I don't think there's anything about this, so I will just try to pull the Well, sorry. Let's see if I pass first, shall we? So Leo is testing 4 to 4. Can't boost, can't do anything. Let's go ahead and draw a tentacle so that I can... Because this is technically still the first act. I'm resolving Act 1. Let's go 4 to 4. The Wheel of Fortune. It turns, but sometimes it turns for the better. That's actually crazy. I revealed a tentacle. I'm going to treat it as a 0, and I'm going to pass, and I'm not going to pull another weakness. Leo, you lucky son of a gun. Act 2A, past and present. Is this real or a vision? Either way, the secrets of the ancients may hold the key to finding the nexus of Nkai. Find paths to the nexus by discovering all of the clues from as many different Tenochtitlan locations as you can before time runs out. If there are 6 Tenochtitlan locations in play with no clues on them, advance. Seems unlikely, but we'll see. That is Leo's entire turn. Congratulations, Leo. We're now on a new act, so you can now use the Wheel of Fortune again. Jenny Barnes is at a totally different place, Zocalo. Discard cards with a total combined cost of at least 5 from your hand to explore. Draw the top card of the exploration deck. So, I've taken out 1 treachery and 1 location, so I don't think the odds have changed that much. Discarding 5 costs of cards from hand would be horrific because, well, I would have to discard Followed and Lockpicks, and I just don't want to. So I'm going to play a Lockpicks from hand. I'm going to move into Leo's location, and I'm going to go ahead and use Lockpicks. Level 1. I'm investigating at a total of 6. Sacred Woods has a Shroud of 5, because I have 1 asset in play. I could commit Momentum to this test, but that seems bad because it only reduces the difficulty of the next skill test to this phase. So instead, I'm going to spend $2 to boost my intellect by 3. So 6, 9 to 5. Well, okay. It's a -4, so I pass, but I have to lose a supply from lockpicks. But I still get a clue. Good job, Jenny. That's it. Okay, no enemies. Jenny has also found herself falling upwards, 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 and into the sacred woods at the heart of Tenochtitlan. Let's go ahead and upkeep. Jenny draws, searching for Izzy. Amazing, hilarious. The location farthest from Jenny right now, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, is probably the temple ruins, which would be a great place to search for Izzy, I think. That sucks. It is what it is. Leo, an expedition journal might be of value. What have we done? I love the art on this too. So the scribbles in the book are just scribbles, but they end with help. And the expedition journal has things torn out of it because the ants are literally eating the expedition journal. Can I help you, cats? Good lord. Oh, but of course, paying things here at this location is going to be really hard, so I might have to move. We go to 1 out of 8 Doom. I have put 1 Tenochtitlan location into play. We're going to go ahead and draw encounter cards. Creeping Poison. Each investigator who is poisoned takes a damage. Sorry, Jenny. Things aren't looking good for old Jenny. It's got Surge. Arrows from the Trees. Take a damage, plus an additional damage for each ally you control. Each other investigator at an ancient location must resolve this effect. A damage and a damage. It's not looking good for our heroes. Suddenly, a hail of arrows from the trees. Iktaka hurls Jenny and Leo to the... Well, not Leo. Hurls Jenny to the ground and starts to move for Leo, but his bum leg gets the better of him. Oh, my cat might do something wild in a moment. Let's find out. Meanwhile, Jenny Barnes, now bleeding, shadowed. If there are no cultist enemies in play, take a horror shadow, gain surge. I really need to find an ally. Window to another time. This is the one card I wanted to avoid. Peril. You must either choose and shuffle an ancient location back into the exploration deck, or place a doom on the current agenda, which can cause it to advance. We're placing a doom. I am not giving up all of this hard work. Venturing, having hit the deck, the sudden hail of arrows vanish as if they had never been there. And Jenny looks up into the sky, which is actually a reflection of present-day Mexico City. This is a very strange place, she decides, and I'm not sure what exactly is going on. I think my best bet... So Jenny could lockpicks to get this clue here at the Sacred Woods. Alternatively, Leo could play Scene of the... Oh, no. No, he cannot. While you're at Sacred Woods, increase the cost of each card you play by 2. So he's not going to be doing that. He could move, take a buck, maybe go to Chapultepec Park and see what's there. Jenny, I think, could... She could lockpicks and momentum, but then has no other test to take. Unless there's a test elsewhere. Let's assume Leo's not going to do anything here, and I'm going to move to Chapultepec Park. One of the largest city parks in the West, the Bosque de Chapultepec is a beautiful ecological landmark overlooking the city, built in what was once a sacred forest many centuries ago. Most forests peter out the further you get from sort of the denser part, older growth part of the forest. Fewer trees. But much like an artificial forest planted for one reason or another, Leo is set among trees, and then he is not. He is in the past, and he is in the present. Chapultepec Park is a 1-shroud, 0-clue location. It says, after you fail a willpower test, take a horror. Gross. Explore, test will 3 if you succeed. Exploration deck, blah, blah, blah. I can't really afford to... Well, he can afford to take a bit of horror. I could also take a buck and play Expedition Journal, and then still have a buck for... Or, an investigation. And then, if Jenny gets pretty lucky with momentum, she can come over and do the same if she needs to. I think that's the play. $2. Expedition Journal. Last action. Explore. Take a horror. Oh, no, sorry, it's test. Don't have to take a horror right away. Test, willpower 3. All right. Leo! -5. That's the ticket. All right, well, oh, so I failed, so I have to take a horror. It's not looking good for our heroes. Jenny. We're going to use lockpicks and boost it by $2, as well as a momentum. This is going to be key, hopefully. Oh, I definitely had a tentacle. So, Jenny Barnes is investigating with the lockpicks. She is a 6 with her agility added to her intellect. I gave myself +3 agility with Streetwise, and I'm putting in a momentum, which brings me up to 10. Skull, -3, which brings me to 7. To 5. The Shroud is 5 because of my 1 asset. Is that how that works? -1 Shroud for each asset you control. I control Streetwise. That's an asset. In the Thick of It is also an asset. Hang on a second. It feels weird because these shouldn't count, IMO, but, like, they definitely count. So, I would have succeeded by 2. Let's call that a succeed by... Well, no. These are assets, and I control them. So it was... The Shroud was actually 3. Which means my 10-3 is, like, a little overdramatic. Then, move. Explore. But now, if I'm not mistaken as to how momentum works, the next skill test you perform this phase... Oh, okay. Is reduced... The difficulty is reduced by up to 3, so 3. So I'm testing 3 to 0. It's a massive success. I can't believe it. Let us look for Jenny Barnes. Joins Leo in exploring the park. This forest seems to lead out here. It seems like a natural place to continue looking. We're looking for a blue triangle. I'm exploring until I find a blue triangle. Or a treachery. That's the one. God damn it! Is it unsuccessful or if you fail? No, it's after you fail. Oh, but this is another willpower test. Oh, Leo, can you commit any willpower icons? Nope. Jenny Barnes? Incredible. That's actually very valuable. So I don't fail, and I don't take any horror. I would have died otherwise. This is, but now that's out of the deck, too, which is great. Okay, no enemies. Leo and Jenny, much worse for wear. Leo knows this is just a dream. Jenny, she's pretty pragmatic, too, but she's not 100% sure. Let's upkeep. Fast. Upgraded pickpocketing. Potentially very nice. And a sled dog, but no money. For Leo. All right. We go to 3 out of 8 Doom. We have... Oh, did I? Yes, sorry. I should have grabbed that clue for Jenny. So Jenny, we've cleared one ancient location of clues. We haven't even found another one yet. Let's have a look here. Leo draws another copy of Lost in Time. Uh-oh. Shuffle a non-story asset you control into your deck. Well, it a non-story asset. Boo. Oh. That sucks. It's gotta be Runic Axe. Sorry, Leo. Leo no longer has, like, any... He just looks down in the axe. It's just like... Oh my god. What is this place? Creeping poison? Take a damage? Jenny? What the hell? Words of power. If there are 1 or more enemies at your location with doom on them, you cannot damage those enemies. Fine. Or discover clues at your location. Less fine. We'll see how important it is for us to actually deal with this. I don't know if we're going to have time anyway. We're back around. Leo now no longer has a weapon of any kind. Terrible news. And we still need to succeed at this willpower test, which is also devastating. I think, do we just draw some cards to try to get our hand size back up? Because Jenny could just discard Words of Power, draw a card, try to get set up a little bit more so that we can maybe get back to Temple Ruins. Or we could go a little ham and hope to pass a willpower. I mean, Leo would hope to pass the willpower test. Just sucks. I think we take a little setup. Oh my god, I don't have time for setup in this scenario. I really don't. Let's consider here. We can't really do much until... And Jenny's on the cusp of dying as well. Double action, discard Words of Power, draw a card. Great. Leo, draw. Draw. Grievous Wound does nothing for me right now. Let's go ahead. Last one, draw. Another sled dog. Okay. And I have a free action to explore, so let's take it. I'm going to test Willpower 3. I'm going to regret this, but I'm testing 4 to 3. I knew I was going to regret that. Man, how devastating is this? This is like the saddest attempt at this scenario I think I've ever seen. But they are doomed drafters, you know what I mean? Let's move. There's no enemies, so we move straight to upkeep where, aha, okay, here we go. Jenny Barnes draws a fox mask. Looking up. And hypochondria for Mr. Leo. Hypochondria is the one where if you take damage, you have to take direct horror. So, like, absolutely not good. But for Doom, Leo does have some sled dogs. Maybe will be good to play them. The Edsley Guardian. Okay, this is bad. The Edsley Guardians spawn at any empty location, ancient if able. There is an ancient empty location. It is next door to us. They are alert, they are aloof, and it says when enemies attack, if Edsley is ready and unengaged, it attacks each investigator in each connecting location. So my thought will be, we'll want to get out of Chapultepec Park, because if you're on Edsley Guardian's location, they only attack investigators in the connecting locations because they shoot arrows from the trees, as we saw earlier. Max, what are you doing, buddy? You want to be on the stream bad, don't you? Leo could, move in, engage, and fight, but we do not have even a 2 damage option as of now. Not great. So, we'll see. Jenny. Brotherhood Cultist. Brotherhood Cultist is a 2/3/2 hunter. It gets +1 fight, +1 evade for each doom on it. When you initiate an attack against Brotherhood Cultist, you place a doom on Brotherhood Cultist. So ideally we have a 3 damage solution to try to take him out immediately. What we do have, Jenny is going to... So, okay, here we go. We're back around. Chapultepec Park all of a sudden has become very busy. There is crunching in the underbrush from that ancient sacred forest as some of the guardians of the Etzli reappear. Meanwhile, in the park, a man, hooded, hunched, starts walking towards Leo and Jenny, who press up against each other back to back. He draws a knife. I'm going to play pickpocketing fast for $2, Jenny. And then I'm going to try to evade an enemy because I would like to do so. I'm going to evade. I'm going to boost it with Streetwise to hopefully pass, which takes me up to 6-2. It's a success, but it's not a success by at least 2. It's an evasion, which means I can use pickpocketing, and I will use it to draw a card. Elder Sign Amulet. This is big, because I need Soak. Now, I think we play... No, I don't need to play the... I mean, I do need to play the Fox Mask, but, not yet. I think we just run. We definitely move into the Sacred Woods so that we won't get attacked. And then last action, I don't have enough money to play the Trench Coat, which would be nice, so I think we play the Elder Sign Amulet for $2. It's got 4 Sanity Soak. 4 Horror Soak, I should say. 4 Sanity. It's been in my family for generations. Take care of it, and it will take care of you. This is a lot of Soak for Jenny, which is good. Meanwhile, Leo is going to... Are we going to explore? Feels bad. Am I going to play a sled dog for 2? I think so. Because I can only have... Hang on, I can only have 2 things in play at the same time. I can only have 2 sled dogs in play. Yeah, but if I can play one next turn, then I'll have a 2 damage solution. Whoops. So Leo's going to... Are we moving in and discarding Hypochondria? No, we're moving in and taking $2. Because now, next turn, barring any real problems, I can place another sled dog. I still feel like we're really playing catch-up in the worst way. Enemy phase. There is only 1 ready enemy, but it only attacks investigators in each connecting location. So the Brotherhood Cultist readies. Jenny draws a Scrying and Upkeep. Sure, fine, whatever. And a Beat Cop. Lovely. For Mr. Leo. We go to 5 out of 8 Doom. I don't really think I've done very much. I found 1 path through the past, so that's good. Let's see what we draw. Another Brotherhood Cultist. Very good. And... Shadowed. Place a Doom on the nearest cultist enemy to Jenny, which is the one that is, of course, engaged with Leo. I'm placing a Doom on him. And then I'm testing Willpower X, which is his fight value, which was just boosted to 3. If you fail, take 2 horror. I'm testing 3 to 3. There's nothing I can do. Let's just go for it. Pow! It's a +1. Jenny! The Barnes. Didn't make sense. So, thank goodness for small miracles. We're back around. We've got a Brotherhood Cultist to deal with. I'm thinking we evade it and run. Isn't this wild? What a wild thing to do. But we got to get back around to searching for Izzy. We got to do some other things here. I don't have damage. So I think that's what we do. Jenny will engage the Brotherhood Cultist off of Leo. Then she will evade. I will spend $2 with pickpocketing. to go up to 6 to 3, sorry. +1, succeed by 4, which is great, so I can draw a card and gain a resource. A lucky cigarette case, which of course competes with the Elder Sign Amulet, so he's evaded. Last action move to Hochimilco. A small wooden boat bumps up against the side of the canal, swaying gently in the rippling water. A juniper tree sticks out of the shallow water nearby, bending in the mild breeze. That sounds nice, just like a little river. While at Hochimilco, you cannot gain resources. Awful for everyone. Action, spend 3 resources, explore. Well, I think we're just... Oh, shoot, actually, sorry, I do not want to leave this location. No, I do, because I'm hoping that Leo can defeat the Guardian. Great! It's actually a disaster, but you know what? We do what we do. Free action to play a sled dog on Mr. Leo. And then it's going to be engage the Etzli Guardian. Fight using the sled dogs. You get +X. Instead of its standard damage, it deals X damage. So I'm fighting at 6 to 4. Not good. I don't have a melee weapon, so I'm going to commit Grievous Wound, to go to 8. Skull, -3. It's a success. We kill the Etzli Guardian. The dogs rip into the man who's trying to attack as one of the Brotherhood cultists nearby cackles with glee. And then last action, I am also going to move. And we're just going to kite a bunch of these enemies, I think. We cannot gain resources. Tragic. One Brotherhood cultist hunts in. The other readies in upkeep. We upkeep, but we do not gain resources. That's a level 4 Eon chart right there. Delightful. And I do not gain resources. We go to 6, but currently actually 7 Doom because of the Brotherhood cultist. We draw encounter cards. Timeline destabilization. As the threads pull, the weave unravels. These strange men, these hooded, robed figures that have been trying desperately to catch up to Leo, Jenny, Ixtaka, Alejandro. Every time they seem to draw close, the world begins to vibrate. It's the very fabric of existence seems to be pulling apart. The threads seem to be coming unraveled, as it says. Test willpower 1. It gets +1 difficulty for each ancient location in play. So 2. If you fail, take a damage and a horror. Shuffle this into the exploration deck. I cannot do anything about this. I am at 4 to 2. That is disastrous. So, we failed. We take a damage and a horror. I have to take a direct horror, but I put the damage and the horror on one of the sled dogs. I have to also place a clue on an ancient location. Is it the nearest? The nearest ancient location. Oh, there's only one. Doesn't matter. Oh, and it does not it doesn't even discard. It goes in the exploration deck. We're back around. I think we just run. Right? I think we run so we can get out of here. Excuse me, kittens. Actually, you know what? Leo can even explore at the next location over, so let's do that. I'm going to move Leo down to Zocalo. Discard cards with a total combined cost of at least 5 from your hand. Let's do that. I don't think I'm going to need... Well, it has to be the... actually. So I have 2 options. It could either be the Beat Cop and the Calling in Favors, or Calling in Favor, Scene of the Crime, Flashlight, which are all good clue tools. Jenny has lockpicks. I'd love for Leo to be able to, like, assist, but we just don't have money right now, so I think I'm gonna... Calling in Favors would be very nice to get another sled dog, but also at the same time, if I Calling in Favors a sled dog, which returns it to my hand, I search my deck for, or the top 9 cards of my deck for another ally asset, and then I play it, which is great, except I don't have charisma or anything, so I would have to then kill this other sled dog, which I'm not going to do yet. So I think... I don't mind this, because it might be able to get us a Beat Cop, a Guard Dog, a Tetsuo Mori. Do I have Tetsuo? No, I don't think so. Guard Dog, Beat Cop, or even Mitch Brown. I'm never going to play Mitch Brown. It doesn't really matter. The beat cop is too good, I think. So I'm going to discard Flashlight, Scene of the Crime, Calling in Favors. This is my free action to explore. It's not a free action, it's an additional action. And I'm exploring. We are looking for the green diamond as Leo hobbles back towards downtown, hoping that he took a circuitous enough route to avoid the Brotherhood cultists. He sees the tide of blood. It's green! Guys, we did it! Okay. No, we did it. Okay. After Canals of Tenochtitlan enters play, place 4 resources on it. It gets +1 shroud for each resource on it. Well, that Scene of the Crime's looking a lot better. And at the end of the round? At the end of the round, 1 resource comes off. So, we need some time. We also need to, like, get our shit together. All right, Leo. Are we discarding... Are we discarding Hypochondria? Yes, because I don't want to die. It's my last 2 actions. Jenny. It's definitely 100% move out of the place that's preventing you from gaining resources. This is a 6 shroud location. I think we play Fox Mask. And then do we just try 6 to 6 and potentially lose a lockpick? Doesn't feel very good. We definitely play a lockpick, or a Fox Mask. And then I feel like I should have drawn first, obviously, but I'm going to draw now. Think on your feet. Okay. We've managed to hide. We've managed to stabilize the timeline briefly. In the enemy phase, the Brotherhood cultists hunt. I keep wanting to say something much ruder. Max, they move up to Xochimilco, hop into the boat that Jenny Barnes recently hopped out of. We'll see if we can survive long enough to get at least 1 more ancient location. Upkeep brings Jenny Barnes a copy of Watch This, which could be very valuable, I think. And it brings Leo Anderson a copy of Evidence. We go to 7 Doom, but 8 because of the Brotherhood cultist, which means, in fact, my friends, we advance to Agenda 1B, the Harbinger's Pursuit, Ruh-roh. Following no telltale flash of light, a sudden explosion of thunder blasts across the sky, causing you to jump in shock. As though drawn from the sound, a streak of silver lightning crashes down from the clouds, ripping a tear in the world before you. Through this tear, a familiar creature emerges. It hisses in anger and raises its gilded spear to attack. Maximilian, what are you doing? You're ruining my video! My video! Search the collection for the Harbinger of Volusia, and spawn at the location farthest from all investigators, brackets. If there are 6 or more tally marks under Yig's Fury, it enters play at my location instead. Let's have a look. Oh! 7? So the Harbinger will enter play at the lead investigator's location. It doesn't say it enters... It doesn't say that he draws it. And it's not massive. So I'm actually going to spawn it at the canals, but engaged with Jenny Barnes, who I think is going to be in a better position to do something about it. And then we're going to keep reading. Oh, it enters play with damage on it equal to the amount of damage in your campaign log, which I presume is 0. Yeah. Yeah, because then that's bad. Agenda 2A, the barrier is thin. Iktaka's strength continues to wane as you journey through the strange vision. You've never seen her this troubled. She's often distracted, peering about as though any moment the answer will appear before her. From time to time, she mutters strange phrases to herself. How could this have happened? The answer will be at the Ancients. Someone else is here. I know it. Words of Power. A hex placed by an ancient power on Leo this time. If there are 1 or more enemies at your location with Doom on them, you cannot damage those enemies or discover clues at your location. Even without any weapons, that's still a must-kill for him. Jenny is going to draw a Tear in Time. Well, I think this might be a good amount of soak for the, the Elder Sign Amulet here. I'm not going to pass this probably, so let's just go ahead and take the test. I did pass! Incredible. 0. Passed. And we've lost a resource from the canals, so it's now only a 5-shroud location. Okay. Brotherhood cultists hunt and do a horror each, which means they could, in theory, hunt in, kill one of Leo's sled dogs, and then he could get to work on them, maybe. We'll see. However, most important thing here, as a reminder, the Harbinger of Volusia is a 320 health 3 elite serpent humanoid monster. You know, that classic. Alert, hunter, retaliate. It can retaliate while exhausted. After it is successfully attacked or evaded, you place a resource on it. If there are 4 resources, it disappears. So, we could have thunk on our feet, but I'd rather not. I'm going to evade this son of a gun. I'm going to watch this and spend 2 resources. So I'm evading at 4 to 3, 6 with the fox mask, 7 with a followed. 7 to 3. It's once again an elder thing. I cannot believe it, but it is successful. I did not succeed by 1 or more. Insane. So I've lost all my money. Pickpocketing will but I've evaded the Harbinger. Hooray! It gets a resource. Max. God damn, dude. I get I either get a card or a buck. I guess I take $1 so that I have some sort of money at some point. Jenny, it's all you. Let's go for a lockpicks test, I guess. I'm rolling at 6, 8 to 5, 9 with a scrying. That's better. It's not better, but it's okay. 9 to 5, minus 3, so I did not succeed by 2, so I lose a supply. Incredible. But I get a clue. Hooray! And then my last action, I think, is going to be to GTFO. Nope, I have to help Leo. So I think it's going to be to take another buck? Graze it down. Yeah. Because I'm not going to investigate again. Yeah, no, that's it. Leo, meanwhile, I think it's a much simpler turn. Double action, discard Words of Power. Now, Leo could leave. And leave Jenny with a bunch of enemies. Do I draw a card? Do I try to beat up the Harbinger because I can fight it at 6? It can still retaliate, but maybe that's a good idea. Do you have a combat icon, Jenny? No. Looking at Eon chart, which has a wild. Nope. All right, Leo, don't... I'm not going to say anything. 6 to 3 with the dogs. Oh, yes! Okay, great. That's a 0. 2 damage, which is lovely. Which is actually good, because this damage does carry over. Not like we're going to kill it, but you know. And it has been attacked, so it gets another resource on it. So it's going to disappear soon, hopefully. And then last action, I think we draw. I don't know how the hell I'm going to defeat the enemies there. Oh, baby. Now, if I had money, this would be a great... This would be great. But... Tragic. Okay. All right. That was the investigation phase. In the enemy phase, the Brotherhood cultists hunt in, and they attack Leo Anderson. Should I go 1 and 1? Yeah. Let's go 1 and... Jenny, what the hell? Jenny, get off of me, Jenny! We go 1 and 1. 1 horror goes on the Elder Sign Amulet. 1 horror goes on the sled dog. The reason I'm not just killing a sled dog is because I now want to save money for the Cyclopean Hammer, so I'm not going to play Beat Cop, and sled dogs offer me a 2 damage solution, if nothing else. And I thought I would maybe get a Vicious Blow, but what are you going to do? Did I already upkeep? Yeah. Why? No, I didn't already upkeep. I just drew a card. All right, okay. This is the most exciting part. Upkeep! Oh, sneak by. Okay. Okay. The Harbinger readies as well. Jenny, Get ready to evade. And Leo draws Mitch Brown, who I can play, and he will not kick out the sled dogs. So that might be worth doing, but I also kind of want my Cyclopean Hammer. Let's see, however, what the Mythos has in store. They're fighting for their lives along the banks of Zocalo, which has now become... They didn't really realize at first, but the blood has... Oh, and of course we lose another resource off of the canals. The blood has disappeared. Oh my god, I forgot. There's a clue on Sacred Woods. Wait. I can't get to Temple Ruins anymore. Ooh. That's fun. I forgot about that. That's a thing. Because of the way that connections work in this scenario, you can kind of get locked out for a while. Obviously, if I, maybe if I go to the red location and explore, maybe it'll connect to the yellow or whatever. Okay. Have I even drawn encounter cards? No. A Tear in Time. All right, Leo, 4-3. Why don't I commit the Cyclopean Hammer? Let's not. Let's 4-3. Should have committed it. It's okay. So I've lost. I lost. I am down by 2. I think now we take the 2 horror. And we kill both sled dogs? That's insane. What am I doing with my actions otherwise? I think I'm just gonna lose 2 actions. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with them, but that's okay. Jenny, timeline destabilization. This is now a 3 difficulty willpower test. This is gonna hurt. Can I do anything about this? I can commit this lucky cigarette case goodbye. Still fail. That's okay. Sad, but it's okay. We put another horror on the Elder Sign Amulet, and we take a damage on our face, and it goes into the exploration deck. Best case scenario, I get the clues off 2 locations. And we're back around. This is going to be a troublesome situation here, team. First action. Jenny is going to evade. We're going to start with the Brotherhood Cultist to try to get a good pickpocketing charge out of it. Sneak by nets me 2 resources, so I'm evading it 3-2. I'm going to spend those resources, I think. Immediately, yeah, to go up to 6. -2, succeed by 2. Draw a card and gain a resource. And a Mandex, that's great. Okay, evaded. Second action, we're going to go to evade the Harbinger of Volusia. Now, I am at 3-3. 5 with a manual dexterity. Seven, 8. 9. With the Streetwise. Success. It doesn't matter how much I pass by. I draw a card. Light-footed. Actually great for next round. Actually great for next round. If this skill test is successful during an evasion attempt, you may automatically evade another enemy at your location. That'll be great for next round. But last action here, Jenny Barnes is going to go 6-4 and try to get this last clue off of the Canals of Tenochtitlan. Or, actually, perhaps smarter, I'm going to play an asset, which is this trench coat. You get +1 agility during evasion attempts, which means that hopefully next turn I can kind of really power up a little bit. Leo, you have 1 action. Would you like it to be an evade? I am going to use my Guardian reaction to play Mitch Brown for 2, which means that I now have 2 additional ally slots, one of which is holding 2 sled dogs, and one of which is holding, hopefully, a beat cop at some point. I would love to be able to defeat the Brotherhood Cultist. It doesn't have Retaliate, but if I attack it, I place a Doom on it. Although, let's do it anyway because I have the sled dogs, right? So 6-2. And sorry, I place a Doom. Now that is a tentacle, but once per act, I can treat it as a 0, and I'm going to do that now. 2 damage. Not dead, tragically, which means in the enemy phase, the Brotherhood cultist hits Mitch Brown now, all of a sudden. And we go to upkeep. Yeah, where the Harbinger now has 3 resources on it. Thank you very much. Excuse me. The other Brotherhood cultist readies. And we upkeep into a Thermos, which would be great if we had the money and the time. And we might, but hopefully... Anyway, and there's a Runic Axe! Which I'd much rather just have the hammer now, but that's okay. Oh my god, this is tense. It's such a tense scenario. We go to 2 Doom out of 5, but actually 3 because of the Doom on the Brotherhood cultist, which I hope to get rid of. Let's draw some encounter cards. Window to another time. I need... I could shuffle an ancient location back into play, back into the encounter deck, but it doesn't matter because this, then I would be down a location. Well, okay, so the question is it better for me to have an extra round to potentially get another location back into play rather than the Sacred Woods? I think the answer is yes, because I need to do that anyway. So we are going to shuffle this Sacred Woods back into the encounter deck, which means Coyoacan is back on the menu, boys. Okay, that sucks, but it is what it is. And the Hand of the Brotherhood spawns at any empty location. After the last clue is discovered from an ancient location, if the Hand of the Brotherhood is ready, place a Doom on it. While it is ready, action and reaction abilities on its location and connecting locations cannot be triggered. Well, there are no actions on the canals. So I'm going to put it at the Metropolitan Cathedral next door and hope that we can just kill it. That is my hope. That is what I want. That's what I want. Let's start with Leo. Because if I can kill this Brotherhood cultist, then I can evidence for the last clue. Save Jenny a whole ass action. A whole ass action. Let's attack. I'm not using the sled dogs because I want them for the Hand of the Brotherhood. Ridiculous. So I'm fighting at 4-3. However, when I initiate an attack, I place a Doom, which means it goes up to 4 fight. I'm going to commit... Oh my god. I'm going to commit... Oh my god. Am I going to commit the Cyclopean Hammer? Scort. Scort! Are you really going to commit a Cyclopean Hammer to this attack? I mean, what am I going to do? Play it? Yeah! Commit! Fuck it! Hurl a hammer at him! This takes me up to 6-4. Not good enough. You got any wild icons there? Yeah, I've got this Eon chart. I'm sure this won't be very good. Have that. 7. Guys, I'm freaking out. What's more important, the Beat Cop or the Runic Axe? The Axe has more consistent damage. So we also commit the Beat Cop. We go to 8. I'm really glad I went to 8. Okay, -4. We kill a Brotherhood cultist, which means we pay 1 for evidence. Unreal. We place a Doom on this guy next door, and then we're gonna get in there and kick his ass! Leo stomps off. He's just like, I see you over there. The Catedral Metropolitana, situated on the northern side of the Plaza de la Constitucion, was built by conquistadors after the conquest of the Aztec Empire. Maximilian, I'm trying to read flavor text. This is going to be my favorite video. Cloud wisps swirl eerily over each of the cathedral's bell towers. As a reminder, while the Hand of the Brotherhood is ready, actions and reactions on its location cannot be triggered. This location has 2 actions on it. One of them is take a horror to draw 2 cards, and the other is, if you have 6 or more cards in hand, explore. It's going to be a while. However, the last action is to fight. I'm fighting 6-2. with my dogs. It's a success. It's dead. I can't believe it. We actually have a couple of rounds left. Jenny Barnes. Let's go for the big one. I don't want to mess this up. I am evading 3, 4 with the trench coat. I'm evading the Brotherhood Cultist, which has only 2 evades. So I'm at 4 to 2. 5 with a light-footed. 6 with a think on your feet. Okay. I succeeded by 1, not 2, which is tragic. I will use the pickpocketing to draw me a card. However, light-footed says you may automatically evade another enemy at your location. So I will evade the Brotherhood Cultist. I will automatically evade the Harbinger of Volusia, which means it gets its last resource on it and vanishes. Great. With a sinister hiss. Sorry. I'm going to move out of this location. Please. God. Which puts an offering back on Fox Mask. And then I think I'm just going to cry for a bit, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to draw cards, because I guess we have to... I'm going to take a horror and draw 2 cards, actually. Crazy Town, I know. I draw an End of the Road and another Eon Chart, but a level 1 this time. The reason I'm doing this is because if we can get one more... Well, we have 1 ancient location in play with no clues. I think we're going to be completely messed up here, but I think if we can get an ancient location for Metropolitan Cathedral into play, then I'll be able to get to the Temple Ruins and I'll be able to search for Izzy. Good lord. Okay. Enemy phase. No ready enemies. Upkeep. The Brotherhood Cultist, who has been hunting for so long, is ready. It's upkeep. I'll take that. I'll take that for a thermos. Let's go! And we upkeep into a wolf mask. Not bad. Okay. 3 out of 5 Doom. Worst case scenario, we have 0 locations, right? But we currently have 1. It's something. Let's see what we draw, though. This is where it's going to get tricky. A Hand of the Brotherhood. Spawns at any empty location. I guess I'm going to throw it over there in Chapultepec Park, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get to him this time. Empty locations would be like the one next to me, or whatever. Well, next to me is okay, because it says... actions and reactions on its location and connecting locations cannot be triggered, but there's no... The only connecting locations are ones I don't care about. Bit of a freebie. This is much worse. This is the Serpent of Tenochtitlan. While it is at an ancient location with clues on it, it gains Retaliate and Alert. Otherwise, it gains Hunter. And it poisons you if it deals damage. 1 damage, 1 horror. Victory, 1. Vengeance, 1. Okay. Now, ideally, Jenny would draw cards so that she could explore. However, I'm also looking at, like, you know, I'm looking at End of the Road, I'm looking at I'll Take That, I'm looking at Cheap Shot, even. Cheap Shot is an automatic evade. But I feel like instead we go for the evade. 3, 4 with Trenchcoat, 6 with Fox Mask, we go 4 to 6. Leo... Commit the Wolf Mask? Yes. 7. Elder Sign! +1 for each resource. Oh, a bunch of resources. So, succeed by a lot. It is very evaded. I can use pickpocketing to draw a card and gain a resource. And now the question is, I successfully evaded a humanoid enemy. So, I'll Take That could trigger. I would then be able to play an item from my hand, which would probably be Thermos, for free. And I would use it to heal. However, let's be real, I need to have 6 or more cards in hand to explore, so I think I'm going to do that instead. Excellent evasion. We are going to explore. I'm looking for red square. I have 6 or more cards in hand. I mean, there's also going to be, like... Okay, we got it. We got it, ladies and gentlemen. We got it. Okay. Jenny, armed with knowledge of what is happening and what is to come, stalks off, finds her way through a small tear in reality. God damn it. After Temples of Tenochtitlan enters play, place a doom on the nearest enemy. Well, that's this piece of shit. All right. Action, place a doom on an enemy. Discover 2 clues at this location. Group limit once per round. Well, we are at the witching hour. It is now also connected to the temple ruins, which is... so I can't use the action ability on it. Okay. Well, well explored, Jenny. I think we're fucked. I really think we're fucked, to be honest. Maybe I should have just... Oh, I couldn't have. I'll take that if I wanted to do this. I could end of the road, because the last agendas... I mean, I know there's another agenda. It's been set aside out of play. So yeah, so this is... I know this is not the final agenda. It's the final agenda in the stack right now, but, like, yeah. So I can't do this. I love the flavor. Should we turn around, or... I'm just so bamboozled as to what I should be doing here, guys. We've got a big, chunking enemy with us. The Hand of the Brotherhood is the big issue. I think I might send Leo in there to clean him up. That's probably my best play. Leo could get in there. Yeah. What's the objective? If there are 6 Tenochtitlan locations in play with no clues on them. If you're watching this and you're on the Discord, tag me in my channel and remind me to tell you a funny story about this scenario, specifically as it relates to the Hunters of the Mythos. I won't say it here. Ooh, consider that a reason to go and join the Discord. The alternative, of course, is, can the Serpent of Tenochtitlan be killed? And the answer is no. Sorry, what has Jenny done? She evaded, she explored. She evaded, she explored. And she has 1 action left, which is not going to be to take a doom, because she can't. It could be to move, but then I'd be with an enemy anyway. When I'm with an enemy... It could be to get a single clue, but, like, who cares? Maybe it is to move out. And I get a Fox Mask charge. Whee! Let's have a look at these temple ruins. Though the exact location of the main temple of Tenochtitlan is not yet known, excavation has begun in search of the ruins of the many temples that once covered this area. It's a double action to explore at the temple ruins. However, Jenny engages with the Hand of the Brotherhood. The reason I'm doing this is to get a charge back on Fox Mask. It is also so that Leo can also move out and attack. Engage in attack? No, just attack. Don't kill Jenny. I'm fighting at 6-2. That's a phew. Okay, dead. And now, because I have an action and an additional action from the Expedition Journal, I can explore at the temple ruins, which I will do. Oh, I will not. I will... Timeline destabilization. Which, there are 2 ancient locations in play. So, Leo is taking a 4-3 test. We might lose somebody shortly. We're losing somebody right now. Oh, could I have committed to his test? Doesn't matter. I wasn't going to. So, take a damage and a horror, and this goes back into the exploration deck, which I have a feeling I will not be using much of. I think we lose Mitch. Bye, Mitch! Sorry, Mitch. Enemy phase. Hunter's Hunt. The Brotherhood Cultist is still a location behind us, because Temple Ruins is connected to the canals and Coyoacan, but not to the temples, although the temples is connected that way. The Serpent readies. Let me go to the upkeep phase. Jenny draws a Mob Enforcer, literally the worst time possible. And Mr. Leo here draws Bought in Blood. You must either discard an ally asset you control from play or discard each ally from your hand. Well, I have to discard one from play. I will discard the sled dog that has damage and horror on it in the hopes that I can maybe discard another thing. If I'm feeling a little like, heh, what's the point? It's because this is a wild scenario. We go to 5 Doom, and that's it. That's the agenda. The silver flashes of lightning become more frequent, and the sky starts to split open. Thunder rumbles in the distance, and you watch as the skylines of both cities, the present-day city and its ancient predecessor, are consumed in the giant stone maw. 6 pillars surround the cavernous opening, each glowing vibrantly. A red hue erupts from the center, and the ground shakes with the force of an earthquake. "We've seen enough! We must get out while we still can!" Iktaka shouts. For the first time since meeting her, you hear trembling in her voice. Find each Tenochtitlan location in play with no clues on it. Add them to the victory display. Well, that is 1. Whee! For each present-day location in play, search... Oh, for each present-day location in play, search the exploration deck for a location with a matching symbol and place it on top. Oh, right. So, sorry. Zocalo is revealed underneath. Which then means we are we're finding one of each location, basically. If that makes sense. Find it, because there's 2 of each location in the exploration deck. Green, we need the other Zocalo, aka the other canals of Tenochtitlan. What am I looking for still? Coyoacan, and that's it. Which is the star? The star! This is a nightmare, guys. It's a Sacred Woods. Is it a different Sacred Woods? No! Whoops. It gets its clues. So, just to be clear, we've just put a bunch of present-day locations. We've searched the exploration deck for matching locations, and we've placed it on top of that location. We each lose our clues. Easy. Spawn the set-aside Padma Amrita at Templo Mayor, which is, of course, where I am. So we'll look at that in just a moment. Remove the current act from play. Put 3A and 3B into play. All right, well, it hasn't gone well, but it could have gone worse. Let's read, and then we'll recap where we're at here. Agenda 3A, time collapsing. Alejandro's former critic stands atop the steps of the main temple. Her true self reveals to you. Silver streaks of lightning wind through her open arms. Coiled about her feet is an army of hissing cobras. Only the chosen can find the Nexus. Only I am worthy. Act 3A, the return trip. Iktaka points to the temple in the distance, shouting over the raging storm. It was her! She was the one trapping us here! She's known all along! One way or another, if you want to get back home, you'll have to slip through the rift Padma entered from. So, objective. If Padma Amrita is defeated, advance. Or, if investigators at Templo Mayor spend 4 clues, we can advance. But of course, we don't have any clues, so this might be a bit of a thing. The encounter deck is only 2 cards big now. Let's have a look. Sorry. So the Canals of Tenochtitlan that we put into play gives enemies their extra evade. Lake Xochimilco, investigators there take a direct horror when it gets put into play. Chapultepec Hill, investigators here get -2 willpower. And finally, Templo Mayor. Well, shit. Shuffle your discard pile into your deck. Discard cards from the top of your deck until a weakness is discarded. Draw that weakness. Action, shuffle a weakness from your discard pile into your deck. Discover 2 clues at this location. Route limit once per round. So, discard pile into deck. Discard pile into deck. And we discard until we see a weakness for either. I guess Jenny's looping her deck. Yeah, holy shit, I guess Jenny's looping her deck, guys. Bruh. Where's Jenny's random basic? It's in play. Right. I went through that for nothing. I knew that was a thing. Okay, so I don't have any weaknesses, which just means Jenny will have to take a horror to loop her deck again. It is what it is. Leo, on the other hand, does have 2 weaknesses. Let's hope that we see them both. Oh, I do have a Tetsuo Mori. There it is. Bought in blood. We have to discard a sled dog. That's it, baby. Okay. Let's have a look. So searching for Izzy is still here. Disaster city for Jenny Barnes. Padma Amrita, the cold-blooded charmer. Snake charmer. 5 fight, 6 health, 3 evade, alert, retaliate, hunter. While she is ready, clues cannot be discovered from each ancient location. After she attacks you, if you have a clue, flip a clue to its doom side, otherwise take 3 horror. Man, this campaign is wild. Let's give her to Jenny, who will hopefully get a big old smexy evade out of this. I don't know how. I don't know how. Oh my gosh. And of course we've got 2. No, the Serpent of Tenochtitlan is at an ancient location with clues, so it has retaliate and alert. Relertiate, apparently. But this Brotherhood cultist is hunting. Now we gotta draw encounter cards, the last 2. Oh, an Etzli Guardian. Any empty location, I'm gonna put it as far away as possible. And the other one is arrows from the trees. Take a damage, plus 1 additional damage for each ally you control. 1 goes on the trench coat, and Leo just takes 1 in his face. Padma stands atop Templo Mayor's grand staircase, lightning coursing across her arms as the rain in the sky turns, however briefly, to obsidian-tipped arrows. Okay. If I were streaming, I would take a break. So I could think about this. I could take a break here, too. So Leo has an option, which is take a resource, pull out a runic axe, and get a choppin'. He's not engaged with anyone. He is engaged... However, this is because Jenny Barnes is engaged with someone. I think we go for a big couple of evades. I think we go... First action is parley the mob enforcer. Just get it out of here. It's gone forever. Second, it's now in the discard pile. No, sorry. I should draw first, is what I should do. Because then it'll go into an empty discard pile. So we're going to attempt to evade Padma. I have 4 evade with trench coat. Holy shit. I am in so much trouble. We go to 6 with Fox Mask. Oh, hold up. The first thing we're going to do, actually, fast. The final agenda's in place. We're going to play End of the Road. Draw a card. I have to take a horror. It goes on the Elder Sign Amulet. Gain a resource and gain an action. So we have 4 actions this turn. And we remove this. We remove it from the... Oh, it's in play. There it is. Sorry. We remove it from the game. But we gain the action first. Now I have 4 actions. The first action is going to be a big stinky evade on Padma Amrita. 4, 6 with the Fox Mask. No, now... Sorry. Now we parley the Mob Enforcer. Then we go for a big stinky evade on Padma. 6 with the Fox Mask. No, what am I doing? We go for a cheap shot instead, which we keep our Fox Mask charge. I'm adding my agility, so I'm fighting at a 6. Oof, to 5. I forgot she has a really good fight. Nope, we're just evading as normal. Here we go. 6. I've already spent $4 on Mob Enforcer. Let's reset. 4, 6 to 3. I think I commit cheap shot, actually. And we... Okay. What was I at? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, minus 2, 5 to 3. So, succeed by 2. Pickpocketing draws me a sneak by, gains me a resource. Padma is evaded. I love it. We remove End of the Road from the game. Good lord. I evaded her by 2, which means I will take that and play Eon Chart for free, because this is now free basic actions. Move, evade, investigate, which I think I might want. What's the Shroud? 2. Double action. Investigate. Searching for Izzy. Yeah, I can't take more mental drama. Let's get this out of here. So I'm investigating at 3 to 2. Let's make it 5 with perception. Leo, you got an intellect icon? 5 to 2 succeeds. Perception draws me a card. We get rid of searching for Izzy. And I still have an Eon Chart. So I could move out of here to get a Foxmask charge back. Do I want to do that? Because then next turn I would just Eon Chart back in. And then I would potentially have... I mean, I have the same number of actions. If I don't do this, what am I doing? I'm investigating. That's crazy, because I should just intel report for the clues. So let's do it. Isn't that crazy? I'm free moving just to get a charge on Foxmask. Now, this actually does put me at a location where I only have 1 willpower. But if I draw a hex, I can discover a clue, which won't matter because clues Padma will ready before that. So in fact, it doesn't really make sense to move there, I don't think. Do we just... What's the worst thing that happens? It's the Elder thing, right? The Elder thing is the worst thing that could happen. I would go 3 to 2. That's gone. That's crazy, right? Yeah, it's absolutely insane. The skulls are -3s. That's... It's under 50%. I don't feel good, and in fact, I could actually actively screw myself more. So we leave the Eon Chart. I don't know why. Hang on. Is it during your turn? It's during your turn. Okay. Leo the Manderson. Anderson! Take a resource. Play the Runic Axe. And then, my friend, this is going to be wild. Fight. So we are fighting Padma, who is exhausted, at 5 to 5. Unfucking believable. 5 to 5. I can imbue it with accuracy, power. What does it say? You may spend any number of charges to imbue it with that many different inscriptions. So I can do accuracy, power, or Inscription of the Elders. If this attack succeeds by an amount equal to or greater than your location's shroud value, discover a clue. I would like to do this, please, because if we can defeat Padma or get all the clues off Templo Mayor, we can actually just win, which would be pretty huge. So I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3 charges. Is that right? Yeah. Which means I am fighting at 7 to 5. Got any of those? Got any of those combat icons? I'm not wasting Grit Your Teeth. Hang on. Actually, am I wasting Grit Your Teeth on this? Yeah, I am. 8 to 5. Very nice. Actually, very nice. I succeeded by 2, which is perfect, because equal to or greater than your shroud. So, get a clue. Get a clue, Leo. 2 damage! Suck it. That's great. Out of 6. She's gonna die! I mean, let's not go nuts. Wait, why did... Hang on. Hang on a second. Why did Canals of Tenochtitlan... Why did I put this into play? Guys, come on. I'm not streaming, but why aren't you responding live? What is going on? Oh, did I shuffle it back in or something? Oh, no, it's in the victory display. It's in the victory display. Never mind. Wee Gucci. The Brotherhood cultist hunts in. Let's stick him on... Woof. Leo, who takes a horror. Hashtag yikes. Hashtag not good. Hashtag not my Leo Anderson. Padma readies and engages with Jenny, who is going to upkeep into momentum. Huge. Potentially huge. Leo is going to upkeep into untimely transaction. Just a wild icon, but I'm not mad at that. We go to 1 out of 6 doom, and I can't believe it. We're about to reshuffle the discard pile. I don't know how the hell I got through so many goddamn encounter cards. There's a bunch of surges. Leo the Manderson. Lost in time. No! No! Shuffle a non-story asset you control into your deck. Well, shit. That's twice that this... So it does make sense to me. The axe is clearly from out of time and is being reclaimed by times past. It just sucks that it's the one thing I can use to actually do anything. Ooh, Brotherhood Cultist is not looking... That's bad news. All right. Okie dokie. Woo! Although, I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm definitely not going to hold my breath. I'm taking another damage. Oof. And it surges into an Edsley Guardian, which spawns at an empty ancient location, which is still too far away from us. That's fine. Back around. I don't want to say too much. Okay. Here's my thought. If I'm mathing this correctly. I would like to evade Padma, because clues can't be discovered from ancient locations. So if I evade her, I might be able to pickpocket. I might even be able to momentum. Then, I can intel report for 2, and I can investigate with lockpicks for the last clue. That's 3 actions. Then we'll have 4 clues, and we'll be at Templo Mayor. What this hinges on is us surviving, essentially, and evading Padma. Well, it relies on us doing those things. Because, yeah, Leo can't handle the Brotherhood Cultist either, so... I mean, that's just a disaster. But here we go. I think that's what we have to do. We're at 4 to 3. I am going to... Oh, and I have Eon Chart. So, here's the question. Yeah. Free trigger. We use Eon Chart. No, hang on. Is this right? No, we don't use the Eon Chart. We sneak by to gain 2 resources because I can spend those resources more effectively than committing it for 2 icons. So, 4 with Trenchcoat. 5 with Momentum. 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, I can't math with Streetwise. 8 to 3. That's big. That's very big. Very, very big. Okay. Evaded by 5. Which means pickpocketing fires, draws me a card and gains me a resource. It's a scrying. Okay. My next skill test this phase has been reduced by 3. I am going to... No, this is good. Intel report, $1, 2, 3, $4, which buys me 2 clues off of my location. Holy shit, guys. Holy shit, guys. Last action, investigate. I am investigating at 6 to 0 because the difficulty of the test has been reduced. Sorry. Let's Eon Chart this, actually. Fast, which saves me 1 action to use on lockpicks if I need it. So we are investigating at 3 to 0. It's okay. I was sitting here thinking to myself, all but the autofail, we get a clue. We have 4 clues, and we spend them, and we advance. I actually cannot believe this. No, come back here! Padma screams as soon as she figures out your plan. You can't leave me here, I've been chosen! Kitaka looks back at her with a pitying glance. The two of them share a knowing look for a short moment, and you hear Padma cry, "How could you?" Kitaka pays her no heed, turning back to face you. "Go, I'll be right behind you." You shake off your fear and step through the rift. Resolution 1. Oh my god. I actively cannot believe this. You are assailed by a prismatic assortment of colors and lights as your mind hurtles back into place. When you next open your eyes, you are lying in the city's central plaza, your head still spinning from the sensation of plummeting. A small voice in the back of your mind tells you it was all a figment of your imagination, a daydream. It is the voice of self-preservation warning you to avoid the path of lunacy you have set upon. You ignore it and rise to your feet, your legs trembling with terror, in the case of Jenny, and exhaustion, in the case of Leo.
That woman. She must have realized who I am and followed through the breach I made. Perhaps she wished to know the location of the Nexus as well,
she says cryptically. Your head pulses with pain as you attempt to remember the events of the past few hours.
You saw it, did you not?
The cave. The maw in the sky, bathed in red.
It must be the path that leads to the Nexus.
It is difficult for you to recall with precision what happened on the other side, but the image of the red cavern flickers across your memory. You confirm with Kitaka you saw the cavern as well. You ask her, how does she know it leads to the Nexus? Her bloodshot gaze meets yours, and you think you spot the hint of a smirk tugging on her lips.
It is a difficult thing, peering across the boundary into the very threads of time. Perhaps you are more than you seem,
she responds, the irony of her statement lost on her. Though she departs without answering your question, classic Kitaka, you understand the answer that remains unspoken. In the haze of broken timelines and unexplainable phenomena, the path you saw was one future. The future you intend to fulfill. Okay, in your campaign log, record X paths are known to you. X is the number of Tenochtitlan locations in the victory display. If X is 3 or more, Kitaka would have confidence in us. I don't think that was ever going to happen, but I thought we'd get 2. Now, to note, there's no victory on locations, which means this Templo Mayor does not go in the victory display. So, I'm going to say 1 path is known to us. Tragically, we lost another path in that scenario, but it's something, it is what it is. If the Harbinger of Volusia entered play, we record how much damage is on it. So that's 2 out of 20. And maybe, well, you know what? The big thing was starting with only 3 cards meant we did not draw into a lot of the shit we needed. For each vengeance point in the victory display, none. Each investigator earns experience equal to the victory display, none. We earn 1 for each Tenochtitlan location. Oh my god, that is devastating. 1 XP, 1 XP. I could draft the 1 XP. Let us proceed to Interlude 3, The Jungle Beckons. Once more you venture south, leaving the safety of civilization behind. There's no time to waste. The path to the Nexus lies on familiar ground, not far from the previous expedition's trail. Using the leather-bound journal as your guide, you retrace the expedition's journey. I'm out of music. That's better. Soon you are deep within the jungle, surrounded on all sides by hazards, some natural, others bizarre. So we read each of the following sections, and then we proceed to Scenario 5A, Heart of the Elders Part 1. So, 1 investigator must cross off 1 gasoline from their supplies. I'm pretty sure I took 2. Yep, so Leo is going to spend his gas getting them further into the jungle. So, if I don't have to read out of gas. Check your supplies if you have a map. I'm pretty sure I took a goddamn map. You'd think you would, too, eh? A path discovered. Thanks to your map, which has been marked from the previous expedition, you are able to clear a path through the rainforest without getting lost, and you reach your destination on your own terms. Record the investigators mapped out the way forward. I don't remember what that means, but we'll see. Again, I will say, big shockers in this scenario. No searching for Izzy. We got rid of it. Actually made it out. Crazy town. Check your supplies. We must cross off 1 provisions per investigator. There's 1. There's 2. Oh, yeah. Oh, no big thing. Oh, there's more. Check your supplies. Each investigator with medicine may cross it off to remove a poison. Woo! Bye-bye. Get the hell out of here. Medicine is gone. Oh my god, I'm burning supplies here. Where's my medicine? I'm gonna sneeze, guys. Oh! Excuse me. Oh, gasoline? No, that's where it lives. Okay. As you trudge through the lush jungle and pass a series of familiar overgrown temple ruins, your keen eye spots a pattern along the stone wall of the structure. Upon closer examination, you find that vines and caked dirt has hidden an elaborate carving of hieroglyphs. If anyone has a canteen, shit, they read patterns in the stone. Damn. Otherwise read secrets in the stone. Try as you might, you are unable to clear off the dirt and vines with only your bare hands. You have no choice but to leave this mystery behind. A canteen can give you a clue next scenario, which would be good. No, I'll save my thought for a second. Check the the chaos bag and the campaign log. Well, this is not true. So there are not 2 or more cultists. We did not forge a bond with Iktaka, and she does not have confidence in us. So that is Iktaka's path, which I believe... So one of the challenges in the Hunters of the Mythos competition, you can try for sort of additional achievements, which give you additional points, and you can try for various paths. So like Alejandro has like a path, Iktaka has a path, and you can forge your own path. This is Iktaka's path, and it would be done, but of course it's not. So that takes us to the end of Scenario 4. Immediately, just crazy thoughts here. We actually survived. We actually got Resolution 1. I'm shocked. We only get 1 XP, which is devastating, but it is what it is. I think it's devastating, but I'm not actually surprised because I feel like Leo never had a weapon. He kept having his axe lost to time. So we were just unable to defeat enemies. Jenny was the star. Despite having all of this damage and horror, like, the Elder Sign Amulet actually saved her. I'm really glad I played it. And momentum meant that a really judicious last turn got me everything I needed to escape, which is crazy. Also, a really sick axe swing from Leo to get 1 clue. Something in this camp that was introduced in this campaign that was then was put into Edge of the Earth as well. Exploration campaigns have various sort of exploration type mechanics, ways of making the game feel like you're exploring. One of those is Explore, which I've talked about. Another is the supplies, and having the various supplies means that things happen to you. Or don't happen to you, as the case may be. One of the great things about this competition is it's made me kind of return to the Forgotten Age, thinking about, well, when you first play this campaign, you don't know what the supplies do, so you just kind of take them at random. It's also a bit weird because there isn't a balanced number of supply points, so 2 players get a total of 14, but 1 player gets 10. So if you're playing solo, it's more challenging for sure, but you get fewer supply points. But that's okay, because you only need 1 provision. Several times. 1 gasoline several times. As opposed to, 1 gasoline, 2 provisions for 3 or 4, whatever. But knowing what each supply does, I think is really a great mechanic, because it makes replays more exciting. One of the criticisms leveled at the Scarlet Keys campaign expansion is that people feel like it's unsatisfying to sort of be blundering around. I would argue a lot of Lovecraftian mythos horror is about blundering about. It's about being smaller, much smaller than your adversaries. Pulling off those victories when you only have 1 sanity remaining is a victory, even if you're essentially a husk at the end of it. So, if you give me I don't know what these things do, But as I play again and again and again, I can make these decisions more intelligently. But I was talking about this with Flower of August on the Discord. I almost always I try to take map, torches, compass, chalk, like, as soon as I can, and I know I need provisions and gasoline for certain, I try to take things that I know I'm going to need, or things that make the scenarios easier. Blanket, for example, soaks trauma, which is big, but wouldn't you rather succeed at a scenario and take one trauma than to fail at a scenario, take a trauma, but then soak the other one, right? Like, I would rather do well in a scenario, and these supplies are what makes that happen. I've yammered long enough. This is Crazy Town. I have 1 XP per person. Now, I could bank it, or I could draft it. If I draft it, Leo has a chance of putting a inscription of the hunt on, which would be pretty good, on his axe. I don't know what else he has. And Jenny, I don't know, like horror soak, I guess. I think I'm probably going to bank it. Anyway, we'll see. Thanks so much for joining me. This has been a crazy episode of Doomed. I'm going to edit this together so that it's totally seamless. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you can join me live when we do Doomed on Twitch, twitch.tv/bifftheboss. It should be in the description down below as well. But if you can't, that's cool too. Keep watching the VODs. And join the various Discords. Join Mythos Busters. Join Drawn to the Flame. Join RPG Clinic. The community is what makes this game worth playing. IMO. So, thanks so much for joining me. And we'll see you next time on Doomed.